Cabanga uthi niyasichusa phela mina ngushandisi ngintshela mina awunakwapha. Cabanga uthi nenza cabanga uthi niyasichusa phela mina ngushandisi ngintshela nayi awuthuka ngisho. Cabanga uthi nenza cabanga uthi niyasichusa.
Hi guys, Frank here. Welcome to Niftas Media. Today is a good day. We have Mr. Khoza here, chairperson for Imbumba Africa. Welcome to the show, Mr. Khoza.
Welcome, Mr. Tinashe. Tanaka.
Yes, Tanaka Frank.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Okay, how are you?
No, I'm fine. Recently, everything is moving fast.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
So we have some few questions that you are going to go through this interview for today. The first question that we are going to ask you is it seems like these days society do not recognize or value the dignity and right to the safe and healthy of life. What do you think causes all this, and what do you think should be done to resolve all these problems?
Yeah, resolving the problems, it cannot be the straightforward thing. It cannot be a one shot and resolve everything.
Yes.
But it can take a quagmire of everything.
Yes.
To resolve the quagmire of everything else.
Okay.
So, in other words, we are saying we need to fix a lot.
Yes.
In terms of how our government, especially in Africa,
Yes.
and the African countries have conducted themselves in terms of being ignorant when they're supposed to try and protect the dignity of humankind,
human beings,
especially the human value of the African people.
Okay.
You see,
okay. But let's say if we were in the position to make some changes, what would you do?
You know, if I was in a position to make some changes, I would say, let's do this. Africans, first and foremost,
Yes.
they need to learn not to live by hunger, by stomachs. They must not be there in the positions of leadership like in governments.
Yes.
Wanting to be in governments and campaigning in government, first and foremost, you find a politician,
Yes.
an African politician,
Yes.
is campaigning in government, is sponsored by the imperialists,
Yes.
is sponsored by the very people who have colonized these people. The campaign is on. By the time he's now winning the position and becomes the president or the prime minister, the very same person, he has to give back to those people that have sponsored him during his campaign.
Okay.
Now, when he's giving back, what he's doing, he's selling his land,
Yes.
he's selling his resources, he's selling his people.
Yes.
Then these people who are coming here, they don't even value his people's dignity as humankind, dignity, especially attaching the poor people to the economic system that is running off in that country. They're stealing everything from the resources of that country, and then they take it to Europe, they take it to America, they take it to the Western world, and in that time, it's developing their society, it's developing their children, and their children will go on and go to school and learn even on the tertiary and qualifies and be doctors and the professors and come back to colonize the children of the people who are living recently in Africa. So now the slaves, the slave mentality is still there, embedded in the Africans society that are living in this nowadays, and that paves the way for their children to be also colonized by the colonist children, because it's going to be an ongoing thing if they don't cap it now.
Okay, so in conclusion, it actually means that actually the corruption which is being done in the communities is the one that makes the society to suffer.
Yes.
And by the way, it's benefiting the
And
other.
it's going on.
It's going on and
Generation
going
to
on.
generation is not going to stop us unless to stop it. So the only way to stop it is to take a decisive action
Yes.
as the Africans. And one of the decisive actions that we have to take as Africans is not to back anymore
Yes.
the Westerns. When they come to Africa,
Yes.
we need to be hostile as they are
And step
when they
for
are treating
ourselves.
Africans in their countries and on the African soil.
In the African
Because they don't only
societies.
do it when you were visiting their countries, but
Okay.
also here on the African soil.
Okay.
They saw undermining the dignity of the Africans and the human values.
Yeah, that's very bad.
We must not be shy away with that.
Yeah. I see. But there should be some things that should have to be done to change that. And let's go next to the question.
Yeah.
There's a reports that have been recently gone out from the International Criminal Court. It's have given SA a warrant to arrest the SA in order to government of South Africa. That when Russian President Vladimir Putin arrives in SA to attend the global summit, which is going to be attended by world head of state, SA intelligence must arrest him. What is your view about that, and the advice maybe you can give to the government?
I think that warrant, it's a colonial dictatorship warrant.
Yes.
They're dictating African or South African government to do something that them as court they failing to do. First and foremost, they know where President Putin is based.
Yes, they do.
He's based in Moscow, and they know in their geographic map where is Moscow is, where is Russia is. Can they go there? Can they go there and just arrest Putin if they want to? If they see a need of arresting him? For what? For what, in fact? We got nothing to do with Putin. There's no crime that Putin have against Africans.
Yes.
There's no crime that Putin have against South Africa. So why it should be South Africa that is used to advocate the arrest of Putin, if there is any?
Yeah,
Whoever, you see, so we are still being made the ball boys of the Westerns. You see,
They just sit there, play
yes,
around,
so that we
and
kick the
create some
balls.
sort of-
So for them, they officiate the match. You see, it shouldn't be like that. You see, they still calling us stupids. They still showing us that they are in dictatorship of all our political system,
Yes.
our economical system,
Yes.
our mental system,
Yes.
mentality. They are in us, you see. So they want to test how we think, how we can respond to them. They making us something like they are, as I'm saying, they are ball boys.
Yes.
Like they are licking people. They are puppets. We so that they turn us against people who have been good to us in the previous time when they were oppressing us. So today they want to be the number one friends and surpass the people who have been friends with us at the time of hardship that was caused by them, by their politics, by their oppression, by their colonialism, by their imperialism. So today we're supposed to turn against those people because they're trying to shine better than those people who've been there for us. So they want us to have a clash and this animosity with Russia, so they can get in and separate us from our friends. Then when they isolate us, we become their puppets forever.
Yeah, I see.
I don't think it's a good idea for any African country to allow to be used by the Westerns or
Yes.
Americans like that.
Okay, but do you think UN have full independent control over the global critical matters that is happening?
Yeah, the critical matters and that we need to make sure that we're viewing at. First and foremost, ICC is not balanced in terms of its service to the world.
Yes.
It's not fair in terms of its monitoring of criminal activities that are done by the leaders of the world and other activists and other people in the world. They are not fair. They're judging the world in a racial element, in a racial lines. Those people that are anti-Americans and anti-Westerns,
Yes.
or those people that are against the system that West is displaying to the universe.
Yes.
Such people are targeted, either white or black. Such people are targeted, and they are labels as criminals, labels as the as the terrorists, and so forth. And ICC comes with warrants that they must be arrested. So ICC itself is a house on disorder on itself.
Not actually.
Yeah, it's a house. Of course, it's a house that needs to be fixed on its own.
Okay.
You see, so it questions me: who are the people that are there? In whose interest are they serving to? Because if it's a world interest, then Africa seems to be not being represented in that forum. You see, so according to us, Africa has been torn apart from pillar to post. As I'm saying, even the humanity, dignity of the Africans is being so greatly undermined by all the societies of the world that are anti-Africans, that are bully and bossy of Africans. And ICC never say, let me arrest these people.
They never
For an
actions
example,
against them.
what have NATO done over Libya? ICC never issued any warrant for the people who murdered Gaddafi. Never issued any warrant.
They just keep it quiet
Yes,
like nothing
against
happened.
any people who invaded Iraq, against people who invaded Afghanistan, against people who invaded Libya, and bombard everybody there and kill innocent people, children, school children, primary school children, daycare children, pregnant women, disabled people, pension people, and just drop the bomb on everybody there. There is no warrant has ever come out. I want to see the warrant that will come out against Benjamin Netanyahu. What Benjamin Netanyahu has done so far, arresting and murdering children at 12 years, 13 years, 11, 8, 9, 7 down, children of Palestine in the streets of Gaza. We want to see a warrant being out for Benjamin Netanyahu. To me, he is a most free and living large criminal of the world.
Out there.
Yes,
And they
Benjamin
never take
Netanyahu
any
of
actions
Israel.
against-
Yes, you see what he's doing to Palestinians, and there's nothing that it comes out from the ICC court and say arrest that man, arrest that man, and he must be treated the way Saddam Hussein was treated. Where Saddam,
Whatever he did.
the way Saddam Hussein was treated, the way Saddam Hussein has ended, he ended in hanging. He was on death sentence. In that death sentence, what have Saddam Hussein done? Nothing he has done. But because of the grudges that Saddam Hussein has defeated George Bush the Senior, that's why George Bush the Junior avenged for his father. You see, that was a personal thing, personal wars displayed by the Democrats, or the Republicans. So what I'm saying is that there is no way that we can say the crisis of the world in terms of dehumanizing people, it's going to be fixed unless the fairness is done correctly first from the ICC.
There was a recent breaking news. Say the USA ambassador based in South Africa recently come out and announced the Storm report that South Africa have supported Russia with the military arms to use against Ukraine. And in this war, what do you think was it about?
Well, I don't want to say those are lies.
Yes.
But I will definitely say there's a lot of questions
that need to be answered.
that needs to be answered, and they remain unanswered. That people are sending from all over the angles in terms of that. We are in South Africa, we don't know about it. Maybe US knows South Africa more than the South Africans themselves. We are in Africa, we don't know about it. Maybe US knows a thing or two more than Africans themselves. I don't know what is happening here.
Yes.
But it's not the first time
To happen.
that USA says there is something in South Africa
Yes.
and only find out that that's not true. Not too long, in 2022,
Yes.
if I'm still recalling it well,
Yes.
USA ambassador, they came out and say there is a plot of some attack that is going to happen, like the terrorist attack
Yes.
is going to happen in Sandton, in South Africa,
Yes.
and it did not happen. A government intervened on that and checked and perused everything that they can peruse to check and
They think
investigate.
it's related to
Yes,
that
if
storyline.
there is any such.
Yes.
There's nothing. The intelligence of South Africa was also involved. It did not happen. The highest paramount of the African leaders, the South African leaders, they went to the bottom of that. They found nothing. And then in this case, now, they reporting that South Africa has shipped arms to Russia to support Russia. Whether that happened or not happened, we cannot tell as yet. But so far, there's nothing that is substantial that it comes with this information to be a concrete information.
As
that
an
we can-
evidence.
there's
Sure.
nothing of such.
Yes, yes.
So our government is do investigation on that. But so far, they say no, they don't find anything. And our government is perturbed with that. It's not in the good state of feeling with the report that came out. We don't know what is the aims of the Americans against the South Africans in the first place. We don't know what's that. But it's not a first time. Remember, they said there is nuclear weapon
Yes.
in Iraq. And they made the world to believe there is nuclear weapons in Iraq. And many people did believe that around the world. Definitely believed that.
But
Because it was said by the masters of lies. The people who can
It
act
was
the lie.
announced on a
Yes.
world stage
Yes,
news.
you
Yes.
see, one of the global powerful houses, USA.
Yes.
The investigation happened. They applied to the ICC,
Yes.
an authority of going there to investigate that. They were not going there to investigate. They were going there just to make sure that Iraq indeed does not have these nuclears, so that they can launch an attack against the government of Iraq and kill Saddam. They did exactly that. They captured Saddam in Tikrit to the place where he was born, and he was murdered because they took him to US, and in US it was a biased court procedures, biased, only
it-
biased.
it was
And then he
already
was,
judged.
yes,
They
at
were
the end
having-
he was murdered because that was the aim. That was the aim. So at the end, it's the same thing they did with so many other countries, inclusive of Libya. They made people to believe that Saddam Hussein, who's this? Gaddafi.
Gaddafi, yes.
They made
Yes.
people to
Muammar
believe,
Gaddafi.
yes, that Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi,
Yes.
he is an oppressor and the anti-democratic leader, and he is denying the Libyans democracy. And they are there to help them so that they can get freedom and democracy from Gaddafi.
Yeah. I see.
Which their aim was not that. They were lying so that they can get the support of the community in Libya, so that they can enter the country and be able to do what they are aiming to do, which is to dismantle that society. What was the aim? Is to stop Gaddafi from uniting Africa. Is to stop Gaddafi
'Cause he
from
was-
trading with
he
gold.
was having the plan in
Yes,
to
of
develop
trading.
the
Yes,
Africans.
developing Africa in terms of trading with
Yeah,
gold,
Yes.
producing gold and
Manufacturing,
trading with it,
yes.
and exchanging oil and gold within Africa and developing the whole Africa. And
Yes.
many presidents were falling into supporting the project that Gaddafi was coming in, because he was putting it in practice. The project actually, it was started to be announced by the yesteryear heroes like the first president of Ghana,
Yes.
Kwame Nkrumah, and who's this? The first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, and then Sobukwe, who was
Robert Sobukwe.
Robert Sobukwe,
Yes,
who was the activist of the PA and the first president of the PAC in South Africa.
Okay.
These are the people in the yesterday who were initiating these things, who are the brainchild of the United Africa. So now Gaddafi was putting it in practice. They killed him for that.
So it's about for them to remain with the powers. That's and give us the lies and lies and lies. Okay. Let's go to the next question that we have here. Our African brothers, and they're still having a horror abusive treatment in the streets of America. Do you think the Black Lives Matter campaign was enough to contribute the message to the world?
Yeah, I don't know. Black Lives tried something, but it was not enough.
It was not enough.
It was not enough.
Because we can still see that even there's a recent story about the Real Madrid player who have been in a victim for the racism. So what do you think might cause or stop this?
As I said, first and foremost, ICC is biased.
Yes.
ICC is a friend of the imperialist. It's a friend of the colonists. ICC protects racism. ICC pretends like it's fighting against crime, and while he's letting crime to go on when it's done by his friends, people who are funding the projects of the UN and the ICC itself. So, according to me, I don't think Black Lives Matter is enough. I think the whole globe, African diaspora and Africans in Africa have to intervene into this and try to make changes forcefully. If it's not happened in a holistic manner, I think it must be done forcefully. Okay? In what way? Forcefully? It's so disturbing. The way our brothers are being shot like birds in the streets of America by the military police of America, who are being militarized against the black people in America. It is so disgusting. It's so proportional. It must be condemned in all angles and all forces and all levels. It must be rejected and be abolished in every way we can. Even from the schools, from the churches, from the mosques, and in any public spaces. It must be rejected. And not only be rejected by lip service, but by action. In the action that I will prefer Africans to do is a global passive protest. We need to launch something like a global passive protest. Do not serve or give any service to a white American, because these white Americans, they don't do enough into combating their government and their security force from abusing the African people, Arabic people, and other people who are regarded as a lower people than America in terms of an economical power. We need to make sure that we punish everyone, every white person coming from America. You have an American passport, we punish you. If you are black and working for the government in America, we need to punish you as well, because you are part of the accomplices. In what way? As I said, a global passive resistance. It must be launched. I'm saying it. Global passive resistance. It must be launched. When they come to airport,
Yes.
no one must meet them in the flight, even if they are part of the protocol diplomats from their government. They must not be served with our cars. They must not be served with our people as agencies who are coming to fetch them. They must see their way on their own. They must see how they're doing this by themselves. No one must serve them by selling them the tickets to fly. Once they arrive in Africa, they must see themselves out of Africa. How? We don't know. They must hire their own people to come and work for them and sell them the tickets, the itinerary to go back. We must not give them our hotels. We must not give them our services in anything, our transportation. We must not allow them to go to our beautiful places as a tourist and go to Victoria Falls and everywhere else where they want to go to so that they can enjoy themselves. They must not be allowed in any excess of our territories. Even if they arrive there, but there should be no one that is there to monitor them and guarantee their safety or help them in passports or anything. They must not be served by water to drink. They must not be served by anything to buy at the shop if they want to buy in any shops. Even if those shops are the franchises that are coming from Americans. Yes. But if they are Africans that are working in that shop, they must not serve them. They must not be served in anything. When they reach in Africa, it must be them coming to Africa and they will go on their own. There must not be anybody that's serving them from Africans until they start respecting Africans, especially Africans that are in America, African Americans, until they seize all those powers, all those fires that they are firing Americans with, until they stop hatred against the color of the Africans that are based in Africa and based in diaspora and based in America, until they listen to the voices of Africans that are based in America, what they want, until they launch or allow Africans to be independent and have their state, an independent state within the borders of America. Because according to the history also, the oldest bones on the American soils are the African bones, even before the Reds came in. But I'm not saying anything about Reds. What I'm saying is that as Reds and Americans, who are the African Americans, as they are working together, they must work together as they are. They must not be separated by the imperialists and these monopoly capitalists that is happening in America. They must not be separated by any brutality. They must not be separated by any intimidation. But we must make sure, because the rate in which the African Americans are being targeted by the gun of the policeman that is working within the Americans' societies, they kill them too much. So in the manner in that, we need to combat that by the action that we must take as us in Africa for our children, the way they are treated there. They have home, they have Africa. This is their home. So we cannot treat them with red carpet when they come here, these white Americans, when they come down here. Some of them are the retirees, from the police force, from the police and security force. They come here as a clean people. And they hide in criminality that they have done and committed in the yesteryears, in their years of youth. You see, they murdered some people in their years of youth. It seems like they get accolades with that. It seems like they get awards with the number of people that they are brutalizing, as long as they are black in America. So these are the things we are saying. It must be stopped in all forces. The action is a global passive resistance that we need to launch.
I see, Mr. Koza. I see. Okay, but is there any international political powerful leadership which you may recall as wasteful or useful to political space, which could use influence and significant to change the world to be happy place?
One of the things is that what I just mentioned.
Okay.
We have to
not give them respect.
Yes, that is one of the things. Not to give them respect only. Just be quiet. Don't say anything to them. Don't say, sorry, sir, I won't help you because of X, Y, Z. Don't say anything. Don't deliberate with them. Just passive. Keep quiet. Let them help themselves on their own. When they're asking you, where is the restroom? Where is the bathroom? Just keep quiet and walk away. Don't even say anything. Don't say, I won't tell you. Just keep quiet and walk away.
Until
Where
they
is
learn
it?
to respect.
Yeah. Where is the entrance of the building? Where is the exit of the building? Just keep quiet and walk away. Sorry, sir. Can you help me? Just keep quiet and walk away. It's a global passive resistance. That is what we're supposed to launch against Americans until they start respecting
Okay.
our brothers and sisters.
Okay. Let's talk about the brothers who are the Africans who are in diaspora. What measures do they supposed to take for themselves to live in those kind of society in a protective way?
You know, they must have their close ties with Africa. They do have some connections with Africa. But if you follow their concept, they are more brainwashed than how an African grew up in African society, especially grew up in African rural areas, is thinking and is understanding being an African. So they must be the ones that are visiting Africa more than the person from New York, a white person from Alabama, a white person
coming to Africa.
coming to Africa, a white person from UK. They're flocking here in Africa.
Yes.
Those diaspora people are so few coming down to Africa. And not only coming to Africa, but to learn about their roots. And then they must come and adopt to what Africans are and then go back to implant them back home where they belong to.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the last question of the show. If you were in a position of being a spiritual person with some spiritual powers, which leadership would you raise, or the person who would raise from their resting place, and why would you choose that specific person?
Yeah. Firstly, I will raise great leaders
Yes.
that I admire, both politically, culturally,
Yes.
and activist. Right?
Yes.
Malcolm X. I will raise Malcolm X.
He was one of the greatest black men
Yes.
in America.
Yes.
Yes.
I will raise Khalid Muhammad, one of the leaders of the Black Panther Party in America.
Yes.
He was so straightforward.
He was
And
focused
very
and he
inspiring.
knew what he was doing.
Yes. See, I will raise Amilcar Cabral, who said we need to respond the fire with fire, as the enemy does. Until we do that, we won't be free.
But
Amilcar Cabral is one of the leaders from Guinea,
okay.
activist from Guinea. And I will raise Idi Amin, one of the presidents of Uganda, the great.
Grand President of Uganda.
The British, when they come to Uganda at his time, he had a policy that when they speak to him, they must kneel, all of them, kneel down. Then they speak to him, and they stand him. Because according to him,
You come to my house.
he
You
come to
follow
my house
my
and he is
rules.
good. Because it's what we're doing when you go into UK.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
People used to kneel for the monarchy,
for the royal
leadership.
yes,
of,
yes,
of,
yes.
yes,
Of the British.
Yes. So he was a king of his own as he was a president. He
Yes.
adapted himself as a king in Uganda. So they must treat him as such. I will raise King Shaka Gasenza Nkono, the great Shaka.
Great Shaka.
The great Shaka. The very, very smart man, prudent man, very tactical.
Yes.
superior man at his time.
Yes.
He was ahead of time. He was thinking like a modern man at the primitive times. He was very, very good. He could beat even the whites in terms of thinking capacity when he was interacting with them in verbal communications. King Dingaan Kasenza Ngakona, the man who attacked the whites several occasions, trying to protect his land.
Yes.
And whites attacked him back, trying to steal his land. You see. King Makoma from Transkei or Eastern Cape,
Yes.
you see, of the Xhosas. King Sandile from those are the people who tried to protect the land in all forces against the colonists.
They did everything that they could.
Talking about King Peguzulu kaCetshwayo, and King Cetshwayo kaMpande. And these are the kings that played a very significant role. President Mugabe, he will one of the rising, and of course President Muammar Gaddafi.
Yes.
But again, I won't leave maybe one person
Yes.
that called Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe. Number one, exceptional. Just to wrap up, as I'm going to wrap up now,
Yes.
if there was one man that I wouldn't raise up,
Yes.
if there was one man that I wouldn't raise up,
Uh-huh.
to me was a wasteful leader,
Yes.
that is Nelson Mandela.
He met
I got my reasons for another day. He's a wasteful leader to me.
We'll talk about that
You see,
another day.
his
Mr.
power had
Kapa.
never been utilized correctly for his people.
For whatever he done.
For what he was arrested for, he never pursued it when he's out. Then, if there's one white person
Yes.
that I will raise from that,
Yes.
and I admire that white person,
Yes.
leave aside Putin, I will raise Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
Hitler to me is a great.
He's a great.
He's a great. I will raise Adolf Hitler, and when he's raised up,
Yes.
I will make him a prime minister of Palestine so he can sort out their problems
Okay.
in Middle East. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khoza, for being with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a fruitful show being with you today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.